Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Schmoedown reaction here on Dedicated to Art. I'm one of your hosts for the evening, Nico Suave Regoli, and I'm joined by Christopher Doman. And Chris, we got ourselves a really interesting match, one that you and I have kind of been on opposite sides of the fence about in recent discussions, and that
Surprisingly,
is
yeah.
Yes, and that is Corruption's B team of Crimson Fury, Stacey Howard, and Tim Franco taking on the reigning singles champion Paul Oyama and Eric Zipper of the Loose Cannons. This is exciting. This is exciting. It's Corruption versus Dungeon. Nice little preview heading into the spectacular for the Inner Geekdom Championship match. You've already said in the past what your thoughts are on this, but have those thoughts changed at all in recent times?
They actually haven't. And so far, I've been perfect as far as my bracket goes for this tournament. Yay. And look, all credit yesterday to Movie Guys. You guys put up a hell of a fight, but I somehow knew Shazam was going to pull off that win. And yet, here we are. And this is, everyone has their sort of dark horse match. You know, for some people, it was the possibility of, let's say, Inky and the Brain taking out Who's the Boss, or for some people, it was the Movie Guys taking out Shazam. For me, it's Crimson Fury. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but for once, I have to go against our boys in the dungeon because Paul Oyama is the singles champ for a reason. He is damn good at the game. And Zipper has shown improvement in singles. He certainly has. I'm not going to take any credit away from him. And Tim is still kind of like, there's two wild cards in this match. You have, actually technically three, but for some reason, I have this inkling, I have this feeling that somehow Stacey is going to pull another upset like she did against Mark Riley, where she and Tim are going to give Loose Cannons the loss. And here's the thing, I don't want that to happen because Corruption winning is bad for me. But I had to go with my gut, and my gut said Crimson Fury is going to somehow pull this one out.
I understand where your head is at with this one, simply because, like, especially if we look at the Stacey Howard pattern of play, which is she has a big win, then she kind of has a subpar loss, then another big win, and then she kind of takes another L that shows. The range of consistency in gameplay always follows that pattern. Big win, big loss. Big win, big loss. Big point deficit for those losses. And if we're going by that pattern, this is the time where Stacey gets a win because she came off of a loss in her last match that we saw of her. Mm-hmm. That said, I feel like New York woke up something in Paul where he was very disappointed in that performance against Jeff Snyder. I know this from having talked to him. And he wants redemption. He wants to show that he is worthy of being the singles champ. He is worthy of the undefeated record he has in general movie trivia since he began all the way back last year in the fan leagues. And Zipper's got something in general movie trivia. Yes. In general movie trivia, let me clarify. And Zipper has something to prove as well. So I just feel like motivation is on the dungeon side here. And so I'm going with the Loose Cannons. They want to capitalize on the performance they had against the Looney Bins. And I feel like we're going to see a performance of equal caliber to that match that they had against Looney Bins.
Yeah. And look, as we say, anything can happen. And to be fair, if this is where my bracket is busted, I don't mind. Because, again, I'm repping the dungeon 100%. But for some reason, I just couldn't put their name on the bracket.
We'll find out.
Absolutely.
In 3, 2, 1, press play. The champ.
Yeah, buddy.
Booker T wants me on his show to be interviewed. It's a busy time.
Yeah! Boy. What's up, prime time? Woo. I gotta tell you guys something. I'm proud of this kid bringing this championship back home where it belongs. All these clowns are trying to figure out what hit him. The dungeon. That's right. Now we need to figure out what moron you're gonna run through on your way to that soap star Kalinowski. I want that IG belt. Obviously, you're gonna take out whatever chump they throw at you, but let's focus on what's really important, boys. The Loose Cannons. It's time to bring a tag team championship home back to the dungeon.
Are we married to the name the Loose Cannons? Just because I don't want people to think I'm unstable. You know, I've been working on my anger issues.
Damn it, Zipper. You know I trademarked that name. Loose Cannons the keychains. Loose Cannons the koozies. Loose Cannon hoodies. It's already trademarked.
We're gonna see like a percentage of all of that, though, right?
Okay, that promo was somewhat dated, but it's okay. Yeah. And also, I love how it felt like a meetup of two gangs before they're about to break into song and dance.
We're gonna win the belts, and there's nothing you can do to stop us.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the movie.
Speaking of song and dance,
we are in the thick of the Ultimate
Miss Movies
Schmoedown
herself.
Tournament. Today it's the Loose Cannons taking on Crimson Fury. My name is Mark Baby Carrots Ellis, and I'm thrilled to be joined at the answer desk by the one, the only Miss Movies is here. Brianne Chandler, everyone.
Yay!
In the flesh.
I think this is the first time I've been here since the free-for-all.
Oh, this is so exciting to have you be a part of this, a part of the hoopla, the hype. The tournament is upon us. But Brianne, before we get into all the Loose Cannons, Crimson Fury.
I'm trying to remember, when was the first time I heard the word hoopla? And I can't remember.
What have I been up to?
Yeah, I think so.
Actually, you'll appreciate this, Mark. I've been working on 2 minutes of stand-up.
Oh.
Just because I want to see, like, I don't know if people know this, but sometimes I'm funny.
How many jokes have you written?
I have one that's really solid.
Okay.
And then I have a few, like, spattering jokes.
You sound
here and
exactly
there,
like me
here and
working
there.
on my new hour. That is Brianne. I am Mark, and we are so excited about this because
Hashtag
when you
dog
get to the
stepfather.
team format in
Coming
the
out this
Ultimate
week.
Schmoedown,
Check it
Brianne,
out.
I gotta
it
check that
becomes
out.
more about
Same.
just the competitors on the team.
Is it free?
It becomes a full-on faction war.
Yes.
That's what we've seen with
Oh,
Dungeon and with
nice.
Corruption.
Should be on
Now
Amazon Prime,
the
actually.
Challenger, I guess you want to say, because
Cool.
they're lower ranked as of today. In this match is the Loose Cannons, but they're comprised of Paul Oyama, Primetime, and Eric Z-Man Zipper. Neither one of them has lost a singles match, so how are they going to do as a team?
Wait, but then how are they the challengers?
That's
in
the
this?
question.
That's
I mean,
what
Loose
wanna know.
Cannons
1-0
is a very
versus
young
1-0
team. They're
with a
1-0, and then they look at Crimson Fury, also 1-0, but with the 1 KO, maybe that's what puts them
Strangely
in the
enough,
higher ranked
that
seed.
1
But Loose
KO
Cannons, Paul, what a
against
season
Tim
he has
Franco's
had,
friends
and he's got
at
a
Late
belt
to the
show
Party.
for it.
He does have a belt to show for it, and today I think that this is also not just about
You're
these
the
teams, but about
chosen
these
one.
managers.
Absolutely.
This is like the battle for Manager of the Year today. in my
Manager
mind.
of the Year, Faction of the Year, Paul and Eric going up against Crimson Fury, who I know you have a little bit of history with the team Crimson
Just
Fury.
a little bit, just a little
particularly,
bit.
maybe not so much Tim the Tank Franco.
I mean,
but
half of the
Stacey
team was your
Howard,
partner
your
in crime
former
for the longest
teammate.
time.
How is she handling all of the craziness that goes into the team format?
What's nice about Stacey is she has a real cool head about her. So she just will come in here, do her thing, and go, and that's it. And I appreciate that very much. What I don't appreciate is that she's with Mike for some reason. You know, we'll see how long that lasts.
You were with
then
Mike
you have
at the beginning of
angle this.
2018,
So when we
yeah.
get back to the managerial
and then that never
aspect of
came
the
to
match,
be
we see
anything.
Ken and
Well, that's
Grace
'cause Mike
and
lost that
everything
normal
going on with
contenders match.
Corruption versus the Dungeon. What do you look at? Is it does one
Then
faction
legitimately
have an
didn't
advantage
talk
over
to
the
anyone
other
for
in
2
your eyes?
weeks.
Oh, dear. I don't know if one has an advantage over the other. I mean, one is much bigger than the other. In
That's
terms
an
of
actual
numbers,
thing that
but, you know,
happened.
We have
but-
Corruption
in real
that
life.
is, established, and then you have a Dungeon who has been nipping on their heels and actually taken some wins at the expense of a lot of different factions. So it's going to be an interesting matchup here. Loose Cannons versus Crimson Fury. Let's take a look at what each team had to say pre-show right now.
All right, Nerd Chronic, what you got for us
What you got?
for today?
All right, let's do this.
My new partner is gonna be
Loose Cannons, big win, 32 points. Corruption still better than anything Kaiser does.
It's tag team tournament time, Dungeon Heads. Now that we've cleaned up the streets of New York City, there's only one thing left to do, boys. Take out Corruption, because I'm sick of seeing Grace's face in this arena.
We're not here for fun and games. We're here to move one step forward to controlling all of this. And we can't do that Without the heart and soul of this team, Sassy Stacey Howard, welcome in Tim Franco to our set.
Dominated like we knew they would. So whatever's next, we're going to keep dominating.
We said it from the beginning in our last match. We came here to win. Poyam is undefeated. Well, guess what? I'm undefeated as well, and I didn't need the fan leagues to get here. I got here just because I'm that good.
You're undefeated, but Spinner's Choice ain't gonna help you today, bud. This arm's feeling a little heavy. I think it needs a companion on the other side.
And there he is, the champ, winning that belt.
I can't stand having an asymmetrical partner here. We got to get some gold for this other shoulder.
Let's see if the Loose Cannons can run through this tournament like Grant took Richmond. That's a Civil War reference, Smash.
Well done.
We got degenerate Neo from the Matrix and his partner, drunk Jessica Rabbit. We all know that Grace is an operation.
What a callback,
They're
sir.
the Loose Cannons, and Crimson Fury, they're cannon fodder.
Loose cannons is what my grandma calls her boobs when she's not in a bra. So,
Final point, loose change. You're just the little nickel and the dime that ends up in the center console of a car. Loose change that no one really knows what to do with. Corruption. This is our tournament. It's going to be our victory.
Okay. Anything I wanted to say about corruption looking like a Kim Possible cosplay convention can go out the window now. Because my God. And as for the asymmetrical partner joke, just put the belt on your waist, man.
And Brian, you postulated as much. It is not just about the teammates doing the talking. There's a lot of managers that are barking in there as well.
I mean, and is Grace considered a manager is what I want to know. Are they co-managers or is it just...
I look at her as
okay.
being the one that pulls all the strings,
Oh,
actually.
Chris,
That just kind of
your heartbreak match on Monday.
Or maybe that's just because I enjoyed a party recently. Now, look, Brienne, if we get into a tail of the tape situation, I want to know what each team is good at. Tell me first about
You
Loose
all hate me
Cannons.
so
What
much.
are they really hoping to get?
Loose Cannons have independent films, directors, and owning expensive belts.
Yes, and those belts,
that.
they get very heavy, so Paulie might be leaning one way more than the other because that
Wear it
heavy
on your
shoulder,
waist.
and he's been having it
This
for
is a
little bit
message
here.
to everyone. It's a belt. That's what you do with belts.
They've got James Bond, Kurt Russell,
It's coming
and
from the
having
wrestling
Mark
guy who's
FedEx
saying
their
that.
gowns.
I have done that. I have gone to the post office.
And I
It's been
almost
tradition
died
since
that
Ric
night.
Flair, since
I will
before
say,
Ric
I was in the
Flair.
parking lot waiting for Stacy to finally get the gown. She couldn't get it. It was locked somewhere, but I was left in a parking lot alone at like 11 p.m.
You see, it's teamwork here that keeps all of us in the movie Trivia Schmoedown alive and kicking. And with that, we are about ready to get going here. Brienne, now that you are in a safe studio with a number of people, there's safety in numbers. Are you ready to go in this match?
I am ready to go, Mark.
Then it's time for the
movie
Trivia
Schmoedown.
Yeah! Loose Cannons versus Crimson Fury. The winner of this match will take on Who's the Boss, Ben Bateman and Mark Riley. Await one of these two teams. Without further ado, introducing first.
Pretty sure I'm maniacal, but what
Representing the Dungeon.
What is this song?
It's prime time, Paul Yama and Eric, the Z-Man Zipper. Record of 1-0. And you see Paul, you see LaBelle, you see Z-Man, and there's Kaiser,
Right.
and there's Smith.
Paul's about as liked around here as Antonio Brown.
Oh,
Mets has
damn, Brienne. Why? Why you got to go there?
It does appear that Kaiser, a big Cincinnati Bengals fan.
The kid's trying.
I
Give him a
almost
chance.
drafted AJ Green in my fantasy league, but as we all know, he's hurt, just like Corruption's about to be.
Ooh.
Right. Would have been stronger words if this took place in September when fantasy football mattered.
Oh!
And their opponent, with a record of 1-0 and 1 knockout, representing Corruption, it's Sassy, Stacy, Howard, and Tim the Tank Franco Crimson Fury.
This is another one of situations where I don't know if I should be offended or
Ken should just come out with a food truck next time.
It's a really weird time in my life.
Somehow get a food truck in the
Mark,
studio.
I drafted Jim Jensen. It turns out he retired from the NFL 20 years ago.
Yes, that is true on the legendary teams of the Miami Dolphins with John Offerdahl. All right, well, now that we have the intros and we are set, we have Stacy and Tim and Eric and Paul ready to go. I will now do the rules of round.
Okay, guys, you know how this goes. Chris gets a perfect round, and my handicap partner is not here tonight, so I'm going to just try.
Let's see if I got this. And this is going to be real casual, everyone. There's going to be 8 questions. You're going to have 15 seconds to answer those questions. Everyone's going to get the same question. You're going to write your answer on your whiteboard, and then when the time is up, you will stop writing. We will call your name. You will reveal your answer to us, as well as to everyone else, so they can see what you wrote in case you have some sort of spelling mistakes. And then you will get a point, or you won't get a point. I'm not sure. You also have 3 JTE rules, which means they are repeats.
JTE, going to be on our show next week.
A little bit more time. You can ask for a JTE.
Famed Ecuadorian film reviewer Josh Tapia as Ken.
And Scooter Crash Test Dummy.
Can also be used throughout the match.
Wow.
And writer of Geppetto and the Jew Bear, the best-selling children's novel.
More concise manner than I ever could. All right, a great reading of the rules by Brian Chandler. And now I'm going to go to Crimson Fury, the higher-ranked competitors. Stacy, Tim.
I'll get to work on a design as soon as I get that fucking
managers,
diploma.
The that's done for the time being. Are you all ready to compete in the team match?
Yeah.
We're ready.
Yeah.
All right, and I will pose the same question to Challenger. Paul already looked at his watch, and that's a sign that you're prepared. Eric?
Let's do this.
All right, then with that, let's
Such
get
clocks.
ready to Schmoedown!
Damn right.
Woo! I did forget one thing, though.
What's that?
If you get all 8 questions correct, you'll get a bonus question.
Oh, not even. I tell them that. I tell them that like halfway through.
Okay.
If they're halfway through and they're still perfect, then I like to tease them with the carrot. Without further ado, we're going to kick off the questions in round number 1. Brianne, at your ready.
I'm starting with comedies.
Isn't it great when they do
I
that?
know, I love it. Robert De Niro and Zac Efron starred in what 2016 comedy?
All right, I'm going to ask you a hard-hitting question. Who has had a better career thus far, Robert De Niro or Zac Efron?
Okay.
Oh, dear.
I know what movie. I'm just thinking of the wrong title.
4.
Damn it.
I know you're a big High School Musical guy. 2, 1.
Can I get a repeat?
Yes, you did get the repeat just in time.
Okay.
Just in time.
All right, I'll go with it. Robert De Niro and Zac Efron starred in what 2016 comedy?
This is the wrong title, but it's the only title I can think of with the similar premise.
No, it's the other one.
Yeah?
Or either one of them?
Maybe the greatest musical.
Nah, I got it right.
Zac Efron.
He is?
I'm offended.
2. All right,
Bad Grandpa.
Stacey Howard, what do you got?
Grandpa?
Well, I have Bad Grandpa too, but I think that's the
Dirty Grandpa.
I think that's the Jackass movie.
Bad Grandpa.
Bad Grandpa. They call Ken Knapsack Dirty Grandpa.
Thank you. We got one.
Throwing barbs right off the bat.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what is the actual title?
Good, and I'm kicking myself because I did write Dirty
For a
Grandpa.
point. Which actress played the title character in the 1976 film Carrie?
Oh, shit.
This movie terrified me.
Yeah,
You could say she was a coal miner's daughter.
Prom anyway.
Prom in
That
general,
doesn't help.
yes.
I need to look at the doc again.
I hate
Yeah, you
everything
do.
about my prom.
4, 3. 2. Well, that's a
Get the
longer
first, and then
answer.
we'll worry about it.
Pens down. Eric Z.
Yeah.
Van Zipper. What do you got?
Sissy Spacek.
It was Sissy Spacek for a point.
Sissy Spacek.
Tim had it as well, Paul.
Incomparable, Sissy Spacek.
And
Sissy
Stacey
Spacek.
Howard,
Nice.
her fellow redhead,
Hey.
Sissy Spacek. All right, Brian, back to you. What's our next
All right,
category?
moving on to directors. Which 1979 Spielberg film stars Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi, and Ned Beatty?
Think of Pearl Harbor.
Great comedy team, and then toss Ned.
What
Beatty
year
in.
that happened?
You know, you got to have one.
I enjoy his entire catalog.
The actual Pearl Harbor or the movie that Michael Bay made?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
the actual bombing. What year did that take place
4,
in?
3, 2, 1. Depends on going to you first. The Tank.
1941.
It was 1941. Did Primetime have it?
I don't memorize movies that are named
Yes, it
after
was
years,
Stacey Howard.
so that's something I'll work on.
Ah, so close.
Didn't have it.
And Tim did not have it, and so we are still working on.
I mean, I knew the
one
decade
perfect
was the
round. That would
40s. I
be
was
Paul
just like,
because he was the only one
what
to
year
use the
specifically?
correct, adjective to describe Grandpa. Move on to animated films. These are movies drawn by hand or on a
Should've
computer.
started dirty.
And your question. What famous cartoon characters were the subjects of a 2017 animated film subtitled The Lost Village? I would defer to you on any and all animated questions.
Sometimes I'm really good. Yeah, my kids love animated films.
Sing a happy song.
The Little Mermaid people, are they liking?
I don't. They don't. It's like whatever's right in front of them, right?
2.
And it helps that I have a blue marker. The Smurfs.
Mr. Primetime. It is the Smurfs. Stacey Howard.
I said trolls.
Trolls, good guess, but inaccurate.
The Smurfs.
Had the Smurfs.
Nice.
The Smurfs.
Franco had it as well. All right.
Okay.
By the way, Trolls getting a sequel.
All right, so it is
that
6 to
trailer
4
looks
loose
awful.
cannons
We'll
versus
talk about it
Crimson
later.
Fury. Your next question is in what realm?
Action adventure or
Hey.
action/adventure,
guitar
as
player.
you like to say.
Yep.
Who starred as Jane in 2016's The Legend of Tarzan?
All right, I'm putting
Oh,
10,000
shoot.
on the table
I
right
didn't see that movie.
now. Real name of the famed
But
guitar player from
who was in the trailer?
Puddin'.
Didn't you just say slash?
Yeah, but his real.
Oh,
his actual
okay,
name.
thank you.
I would
You're
not
welcome.
know that. But I do know the two Yardbirds, thanks to you.
2, 1. Pens down. Your answer was solved.
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie.
Go to Stacey Howard.
Margot Robbie.
It is Margot Robbie. And to Tim. Tim had Emily Blunt.
Oh.
Paul Oyama did.
She was my first guess. And then Amy Adams, and then
Still
you gave me
All
the
right,
clue.
moving on to dramas. And your question is, who directed the 2008 drama The Wrestler?
I might butcher the last name, but I'm gonna give it a shot here.
It's a lighthearted.
You'll probably
It
get
sounds
close.
like it, based on the director.
Hell, I'm not right, but I'm still
Actually,
gonna.
there is a slash guitar riff
go
in
for
the
it.
movie. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Darren
Pens down,
Aronofsky.
over to you, Eric.
Darren Aronofsky.
That is correct.
Nice.
Tim had it as well. Paul
Darren Aronofsky.
remains perfect. Stacey Howard.
Darren Aronofsky.
She had it too.
I love it when everyone gets it correct. It
Isn't
just
it
makes me
nice?
feel good.
Everybody's clapping. Nobody's booing. It's a good time here in this.
A great movie to show why there needs to be a wrestling union.
3-point
Yes.
advantage over Crimson Fury brand. We have 2 questions left.
Your next question comes in the category of movie quotes. Which Disney animated classic is known for the line, "Always let your conscience be your guide"?
Aren't they all kind of like that?
I mean, this could
Thanks to
apply
Disney Plus, I can watch
I
this
mean,
movie for the
say,
first
like,
time
The
in
Fox and the
decades.
Hound,
What
you
if
know?
that's the answer, Mark?
It's not a Disney
If
classic.
you're in
5,
trouble,
think you just gave it away.
Don't know right from wrong. Give a
2,
little whistle.
1. Pens
Give a
down.
little
Going
whistle.
to you first, Tim.
Pinocchio.
Pinocchio.
Give the man a point. He
One of my
got it.
favorites.
Prime time.
Didn't have it.
Did not
Oh,
have it.
Oh!
So
Perfect
close.
round is dashed.
Not so perfect.
Stacey Howard.
Neither am I, Cinderella.
Oh.
I said Bambi.
And Bambi.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, nice job,
Ooh.
Tim.
Hey, a lot
Rachel
of good guesses.
Silvestrini will have a
And,
word
if you
with
keep
all
score
of
at
them
home, that
after
is
this.
Primetime
Except for
Polyama's
Tim.
first miss since 2011.
I'm disappointed. I liked the extra question that was
Right,
going to
looking
be
for
available.
Pinocchio. It was a good question.
Oh, well.
Our last category is a Patreon question. This comes to us from Michael Campbell.
Hey, I know Michael.
Oh,
We go
this
way
is
back.
beautiful.
Michael
This is
Campbell,
beautiful.
great guitar
Hey,
player
Michael.
as well.
His
Michael
former
Campbell,
teammate is
come
asking
on,
the
Paul,
question.
your patronage. If
Paul,
you
say
wanna
something.
Support the
Say
movies
something
from
about
your Schmoedown Patreon. Check it out.
He probably
Today's select
did.
tier is right for you. We go to Michael Campbell's question. He wanted the category of fantasy / science - fiction. And his question is, for a point, in Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, Percy is revealed to be the son of which Greek god?
All right.
This
so
is
you would be
J.D.
the son
West's
of
favorite
the
movie.
god. Which one
Yikes.
would you select?
I'm still going the Fox and the Hound.
I'm
I know
going-
it's, I know
yeah.
it's off book.
That is a way off.
Yeah.
book.
I got a
recently
guess.
Found out that
I haven't
neither
seen
one of
this
the Fox
thing.
and the Hound dies, so I'm happy. 5.
Oh,
I mean,
spoiler
the
alert.
title suggests one thing, but I
They
think it's a
make-
different thing.
Pens down, Polyama.
Is
Said Zeus.
It is Poseidon.
I had Poseidon.
Of Aqua
Okay.
stuff.
Poseidon.
Stacey had it as well. Eric.
Poseidon.
Z-Man to close it out.
Poseidon.
Tim
Yes.
Franco had it too.
I love it.
Okay, so
Correct answer
including
to round number
hints,
one. Brian, what's your take? It's
6 to
12-10
5.
Loose Cannons.
We're
Not
only
bad.
2
Yeah.
points away from it being tied, so I think this is a really close game. I think the rest of it's going to be really close as well. So I'm
You,
looking forward to what's going to happen in round 2. This is the nail in the coffin round. Like, this could go real good for people or real terrible.
It depends on what lies on the
The
wheel. You
wheel
care to take a
giveth and the
crack at
wheel
both
taketh
round number
away.
two?
Okay, I mean, I could try.
It's the wheel
You're
round.
going to go up to the wheel. You're going to
Like
spin
Mark
it.
Riley
good.
described it
It's
when I
going to
talked to him
land on a
last week.
category.
It all depends on the
If you
Schmoedown
like that
gods.
category, you can take it. Or if you don't like that category, you could spin again. You get
Right.
an extra one.
There needs to be a skit
Get 'em
where
all
there's
in.
just
You get one.
a
And then
Schmoedown
whatever
god.
You get from there, you have to keep.
Who would
Now,
play
if
him?
you land on spinner's choice, you get to choose what
I
you want,
volunteer as
just like it
tribute.
says. But if you land on a bonus
Actually,
choice
no,
on your
no,
first
no.
spin
Who
or
should
your
be?
second spin,
Jeremy Adams.
Bibiani.
opponent is going
I was
to
going to say
have to choose that
Bibiani
category for
because
you,
he
and
would
then
play
you're
it
gonna get
so well.
6 questions. That's right. This is not singles. You're going to get 6 questions.
No, actually, you know who
there
it should
is
be.
multiple
Kristen
choice
Smith.
available to you for
Ooh,
these 6 questions.
I like
There's
that.
also stealing in round
And she's
number
just the
2,
messenger
so beware.
for
If you don't
Schmoedown
think
God,
you know the
who's
answer to the
actually
question,
Baby
that's a
Kara.
multiple choice. The value of the question goes from 2 to 1 when you do that. We give you 4 options, one of which is a correct answer. All right, we are looking at loose cannons having.
Wouldn't
the
Baby
right to
Kara
spin
be
first or
the
defer
Schmoedown Jesus?
to your red-headed opponents.
Well, you know, they're only
This is going into such a weird direction. Let's just go back to watching this.
Strong words. And so, Tim or Stacy, who wants to spin?
I'm gonna spin the wheel.
All right, Tim
What
has
shade
declared
did
his
Paul
intent to
just
spin the
throw,
wheel.
Crimson Fury?
Paul's really been working on his jabs, and I appreciate
Flicking
that.
the jab.
I really
Flicking
appreciate
the jab.
that.
I like a nice smile, but hey, I'm just an announcer. All
All
right.
right.
Spinner's choice, opponent's
As your
choice.
manager
Oh,
would say,
oh,
spin
come
is
on.
in.
This could be.
Ooh.
So close. So
Ken
close.
knows a lot about Brad
Wonderful
Pitt, so
abs
this
Brad
might work.
Pitt. They're spinning
All right.
again. They didn't trust
Sounds
this
like a
slice.
plan.
It was
How
much
old
lower.
is Brad Pitt?
52.
What did he say he wants?
Ken will
I
know
couldn't hear that.
after a few beers.
Festival Darling.
Ooh.
There it is.
All right, and I would like to point out to everybody watching in the studio and at home, the entire wheel has been sponsored by our
Ooh,
good
boy.
friend Emil Kuliev. How about
Thank you, Amir.
Emir Kuliev?
Woo!
Thank you, Emir, for sponsoring it. His slices were coming of age, and Brad Pitt. They spun away from Brad Pitt, but he sponsored the whole dang wheel. Oh, we're going to say the name.
What do we got?
Thank you.
Thanks, Amir.
And now we move on to Festival Darlings. Stacy, Tim, you're darlings of the league, but do you know anything about darlings of festivals?
We're going to find out right now.
Yeah, that wasn't
We
a
are.
yes or
That
no.
count?
We'll just ask him. All right, so you're ready, Brianne Chandler.
I get to start. Okay. Hitting it off at the Cannes Film Festival, who plays the lead Betty in 2001's Mulholland Drive?
Naomi Watts.
Naomi Watts.
That is correct for 2
Stay
points.
away from her and
Just
cell
like
phones.
that, we are tied.
Am I continuing?
I had to do it.
Oh,
You get
okay,
to do
it's
all
me.
of them.
Hey,
Yep.
what is the profession of Tony, who Ellis falls for in the movie Brooklyn?
He's a plumber.
That is correct
Yeah.
for 2 points.
Correct.
Bravo.
I would have gotten a multiple choice.
Life changes for Malcolm, a geek who's surviving life in a tough neighborhood, after a chance invitation to an underground party leads him and his friends into a Los Angeles adventure in what Sundance favorite? Huh.
That is such a long
Dope.
question.
It's a wordy one.
I think
that
it's
might
dope.
take
It
you
is.
really,
That's going to get real
We're
small.
gonna need multiple choice on that.
All right. Is it A, Dear White People, B, Simple, C, One Day at a Time, or D, Dope?
Dear White People is a series.
But it was also a movie and a novel. So
Oh, I thought it was just a series and a novel. Didn't realize there was a movie.
And we'll need your answer, and
4,
We're gonna go with dope.
3.
that is correct for 1 point.
There they go.
remembered.
All right.
I only saw the movie once.
Your
I need
next
to revisit
question.
it.
Who plays car dealer and Baptist preacher Marshall Emmons in Boy Erased? Did I say that correct?
You nailed it.
Okay.
It is boy.
Well, okay, thank you.
Mm,
Ethan Hawke?
I think.
Or no. Sorry, Joel Edgerton.
Go to 5, 4, 3.
Multiple choice.
Your options are A, Joel Edgerton, B, Russell Crowe, C,
Yep,
Guy
Joel
Pearce,
Edgerton.
D, Jake Gyllenhaal. We'll need your answer in 5, 4, 3.
Joel Edgerton.
The answer is Russell Crowe.
And that's a very quick.
correct.
Think they were
Stacy.
looking for the
There you
dad.
get it.
Oh.
Point. That is Loose Cannons taking the point and closing the gap to 2 with 2 questions remaining for Crimson
Come on.
Fury.
All right. Your next question. What documentary, which premiered at Sundance, follows the 2 African American high school students in Chicago as they strive towards making it to the NBA?
Oh.
Multiple choice.
The multiple choice options are A, More Than a Game,
No.
B, The Heart of the Game, C, Hoop Dreams, or D, Unguarded?
Hoop Dreams.
I was also thinking C.
Dreams?
That is correct for a point.
There they go, and that is 16-13. Crimson Fury, a 3-point
I was like,
lead.
come on, Roka,
You
now
would
it's 20
really
to
do
get in
them
my head
well
and help
to
me
get
remember
this
it.
last question correct and give themselves what is potentially
They're
a
not great
5-point
at
lead.
playing basketball, but they do know about
Here we go.
basketball
Your
movies.
final question.
Yes, they do.
What 2017 indie drama tells the story of an aspiring young rapper struggling to achieve her dream in poverty-stricken New Jersey?
Oh my God! Multiple choice. Come on, go.
Multiple choice, please.
Your multiple choice options are A, Ingrid Goes West.
No.
B, 120 beats per minute.
No.
C, Patty Cakes.
Patty
D,
Cakes.
Faces Places.
Patty Cakes has a $sign in it, so feels right that would be the title.
Can we get the options one more time?
You can. This is the only time we'll give them to you again.
The options are A, Ingrid Goes West. B, 120 beats per minute. C, Patty
Ingrid Goes
Cakes.
West is also pretty
D,
good.
Faces Places.
Patty Cakes?
That is correct for a point.
All right, and so
And a $sign at the end.
it's a $sign for the
That's right.
17-13. Crimson Fury maneuvering their way around the category that they just didn't necessarily want, although you could consider Festival Darkness a Strength of Loose Cannons. So now that's off the board as they approach the wheel. When
Here
you're
we go,
ready,
Loose
gentlemen.
Cannons. Let's do this.
Bonus choice.
All right, prime time with the spin.
Whoa.
Good form on that spin, getting the back into it. It starts with the legs and it goes up and
I feel
around.
like it's just going to fall off one day.
Coming of age.
Coming of age movies.
We'll take it.
They're going to take it.
Boom.
Okay.
Discussing that.
Coming of age
All
movies,
right.
they were ready for it. All
Let's
right,
see
gentlemen,
about
you get
this.
6 questions. Each one is worth 2 points. Here's your first one.
If it was Kaiser playing, he would
Age
hate
films.
this.
Who plays the difficult and wealthy boyfriend, Trent, of Duncan's mother in The Way, Way Back?
Steve Carell.
2 points.
That is correct.
And they cut the lead to a mere 2 points of Crimson Fury. All right, your next question. Who stars as a charismatic teen genius named Chris Knight in 1985's Real Genius?
Val Kilmer.
2 more points and we're tied. Loose Cannons tied with Crimson Fury. All right. What school subject did Max Fisher say he saved in Rushmore?
Latin.
He did save Latin.
Good.
And now Loose Cannons enjoys a 2-point lead.
This is the benefit of having a partner who is still coming of age.
Or just one that knows the answers.
Seen a lot of these movies. Let's see if they know the next
Zipper.
one.
Not
We're
a
halfway
smart
through
move,
your round
man.
number 2. Your fourth question for 2 points. Which actress plays the title character in the teen comedy I Love You, Beth Cooper?
Hayden Panettiere.
Hayden Panettiere.
Give them 2 more points, and they're perfect thus far.
Oh, my goodness.
They're so calm, it's scary.
All right. 2 questions remaining
2 remaining.
in
I
coming
don't-
of age.
Are they going to get both perfect?
They
do you
got
think?
4 that say they will. Your penultimate question. Boyhood takes place in what United State?
Texas.
As a lot of Linklaters films do. 2 more points.
Not School of Rock, but yeah.
All right.
I've met Linklater.
For 2 more points, and this is going to give you a potentially 8-point lead going into round number 3, if you can get this one. In the 1992 movie School Ties, Matt Damon's character cheats on a final exam on what subject near the end of the movie?
Multiple choice. Go on multiple choice.
We're going to go multiple choice.
I can
Smart.
provide that. Is it A, chemistry, B, French, C, history, or D, calculus?
Calculus?
We're going to go calculus.
That is incorrect for a 1-point steal. Your multiple choice options. Is it A, chemistry, B, French, C, history, or D, calculus? This would be a nice steal going into round number 3.
Do you know how he cheated?
Crimson Fury.
Because I do.
Did he write the answers in his shoe?
History?
That is correct for a point. How did he cheat?
Bravo.
It was a crib sheet.
It was a
It was a crib sheet. And then the Professor found it on the ground.
Matt Damon,
Someone
that
cheated.
cheater, that Goodwill Hunting, he cheated. That's how he knows
Spoiler.
all the answers. So that is a point, a steal for Crimson Fury, and that cuts the lead to 5 points as we venture on into round number 3. 5 points separates them. This is the round that's going to decide the match. So unless we go into a sudden death.
So they need to hit the 2 and the 3 or the
team is
5.
gonna give us a
They at
series
least
of
need to
numbers,
hit 2
and
questions.
They correspond to
They correspond to questions that are either worth 2 points, 3 points, or 5 points.
That is very correct,
Yes.
and because it is the team format,
Not had
here's
a pop
how
in
that
2 weeks, so I
works. Once
decided
we
to
tell you the
celebrate.
category of your 2-point question, the teammates
And
may
you went with
confer and
Mountain
decide
Dew.
who's going to field that question.
Yeah.
Is it an individual exercise? Is
I'm just
the
very
2-point question,
anti-Mountain
3-point
Dew.
question? Whoever takes a 2-point question,
I mean,
the opposite member takes
you're
a 3-point
wrong, but
question.
okay.
You may only confer with your teammate and borrow their knowledge for the 5-point question. So, with all that out of the way, Loose Cannons. You
the
can give us your
rigmarole,
series
as
of
it were.
numbers first. These numbers can be anything under the sun as long as it is within 1 to 20.
17, 8, and 12.
Monday's going to
17,
break
8,
me.
and 12. And Crimson Fury, any numbers?
You'll
that
be
want to tell me that are
fine.
Not 17, 8, or 12.
6, 15, and 16.
6, 15, and 16.
Of all the things for grown men to cry over,
Crimson Fury.
their favorite teams playing each other in a Schmoedown match is a weird thing to cry
It's possible
about.
they don't,
Could
but
be
they
in technical
probably will.
knockout range.
It's better than anything going on in
So
real life,
Crimson
okay?
Fury, you selected number 6 for your 2-point question.
Fair
And
point.
that corresponds to the category of romance.
Stacey,
Romance.
give it to
Who
Stacey.
wants to
Do
take
it.
it?
Okay,
Give it to
I will take it.
Smart.
All
She's-
Stacey Howard is
She
going
prepped that category for her matches with Janine, so it makes sense.
2 points. Your question is, who stars alongside Billy Crystal as the co-lead in When Harry Met Sally?
Meg Ryan.
Meg Ryan.
2 points
Nice work.
Bravo.
for
Nice work.
Crimson Fury. Could
They
have
would
also
asked you to leave if you didn't know it.
Like it's hard?
All right, so your next numbers that you selected was number 15. So Tim the Tank, this one is going to be up to you. And that category
Gonna tie it up, maybe. Maybe.
happens to be thriller movies.
Okay.
Okay.
Thriller movies. And
Okay.
your question is, in Get Out, what does Missy Armitage call the location when someone enters the void while being hypnotized in the 2017 horror movie?
Not getting this damn question wrong again. The sunken
The
place.
sunken place.
3 points
And to
for
tie the
Crimson Fury,
game.
and we are now
Right.
tied, which means
And I got
they
that
have
in my match
successfully avoided a
against
TKO and
Eli
forced the
McKay.
hand of Loose Cannons
That's right.
to answer some questions correctly. So,
When I
Brienne,
smoked
Loose
it.
Cannon selected number 17 for
Nice.
their 2-point question.
17.
What does that correspond to?
That corresponds to 90s movies.
Who would like it?
I'll take it.
All right, Eric is going to take it.
All right, here we go. Who plays astronaut Jim Lovell in Ron Howard's Apollo
Tom
13?
Hanks.
Gary Sinise.
That is incorrect.
Incorrect. Looking for Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks. Houston, we have a problem, and that problem is the Loose Cannons need to get a question right here.
They do. They need it.
That is an issue.
Going to 8,
That's
which
right.
corresponds with something.
That corresponds to the wild, wacky world of.
80s. Going
right.
from the 90s to the 80s. Next will probably be the 70s. So
Surprisingly, I feel like Paul might be better suited for this,
And this one
despite
is-
being the younger guy.
Prime time.
All right, Paul. In 1980's Flash Gordon, what is the name of the emperor played by Max von Sydow?
Ming the Merciless.
The Merciless, yep.
That is correct.
Ming the
Somewhere
Merciless.
Kalinowski just got a chill
that
down. It's fine.
Ming the,
Ah,
I believe
there
that's
it
who
is.
Gary Sinise and Tom Hanks were going to explore. Ming had
I
taken
just
over the
like
moon in Apollo 13, and they had to go to the moon to stop. It's history,
This
Brienne.
sounds amazing.
Wait, using Usual Suspects?
I cheated on my test. I love Matt
Crib
Damon.
sheet.
No,
All right,
but
so
Oh,
now we
yeah,
go
yeah,
back
the
to
clip.
the call to
Fury.
action gif is
Not a lot of
still
pressure,
existed.
Just,
Yeah,
just your
yeah,
5-point
Just have to
question.
do it.
And
You
if
have to get this.
If you get it right, you're going to force the hand to Loose Cannons to answer their 5-pointer. If you miss it, then Loose Cannons will advance.
Still
to the next
funny
round
every time.
Of the
Oh,
tournament,
yes.
and they will be playing Who's the Boss.
And it will
So
continue Paul's domination of never losing.
that's right. And
That's
Eric's,
just how it is.
Eric's as well.
I mean, really?
He's 1-0.
I mean, what?
He's 1-0. Tim,
Singles. Yeah, Geeked Up's a
you
different
said
story.
number 16.
Yes, it's a different
For your
story.
5-point
We've
His
question.
other-
established.
his other
And
team's
that
a different story.
corresponds to biopics. Biopics. And
Okay.
your question. In the world of biopics, who stars as Truman's friend and partner Harper Lee in the 2005 film Capote?
Oh, fuck. Come on, Brain.
Catherine Keener?
Yeah.
We're going to have Loose Cannons answer a question now because that is correct.
Gotta keep you in suspense there.
20. I like to milk it a little bit.
We worked on the stone face.
We practiced.
If Loose Cannons get this right, there'll be just a 1-point difference from the last game they played in a teams match.
Crimson Fury now has a 2-point lead over Loose Cannons, and so Loose Cannons, it all comes down to this. Like I said, it was no pressure for Crimson Fury. It's a little more pressure for Loose Cannons now because Loose Cannons.
It all comes down to this.
They did select number 12.
16. Oh, wait, no, 12, yes.
You're
You're
number
correct.
12 for your 5-point question.
And it is family films. I know something about
Oof.
this.
Films. All right. Family films.
Okay. All right, here we go. Name 2 of the 3 names given to the kids in the Three Ninjas series.
What?
I've avoided these films like the plague. I have no clue.
4, 3.
Repeat.
Name 2 of the 3 names given to the kids in the Three Ninjas series.
And they have one more JT rule to use.
Ay.
Yeah, you got me. No idea.
5, 4, 3.
Repeat.
That's your last
The
one.
last one. Name 2 of the 3 names given to the kids in the Three Ninjas
Chris, you might be right.
Robbie and Tommy.
And your winner!
I'll field that question and remain undefeated. It's Rocky, Tum Tum, and Colt.
Crimson
Damn!
Wow.
Has defeated Loose Cannons.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Tum Tum, just like Tim the Tank had said for Crimson Fury. They had beat Loose Cannons. Loose Cannons, the lower-ranked opponent going into this match, but a lot of people had them in their brackets, and that has now been busted at the hands
all
of
the
Sassy
movies
Stacey Howard and Tim the Tank.
to
Franco.
fell
So
Paul's
probably also
undefeated
lost
teams
Paulie
record.
for Ersey
And in
Zipper,
general
and
movie
you
trivia.
are shocked. Tell us.
3 ninjas.
Give us your
A question about the
honest
children's
emotions.
names.
I didn't believe that Paul could ever actually lose at this game.
That's it.
And now
prevailing
that
belief.
has happened.
Yeah.
And
so
The Russian
once
is cut.
again, shook it.
where do we go from here? I mean, I know where the
do we go
tournament
from here?
goes. Is it Loose
Where
Cannons?
do we go
now
now?
the individual members have to regroup, see what happens in the draft with them next season. And for Crimson Fury, is this the start of a magical Cinderella story run for them? Because they're going up next
man.
against Who's the
the
Boss?
Boss?
And we know that
Oh,
Stacey
no.
Howard and Mark Riley have some recent history going back to the singles tournament when Stacey defeated Mark Riley.
And it wasn't a close defeat like she defeated you the previous year.
I remember.
It was
thank you.
not close like that. She actually kicked his ass.
She did.
I mean,
She did.
his butt.
Did
Where's
she,
that storage
though?
jar?
I think it's okay.
It was
We
a 1
just
point
have to
difference.
back out.
Okay.
Just put a little.
Let's just be clear about that.
I think that this is something that Who's the Boss is going to really have to look at Crimson Fury. And I mean, I think that Ben might have to get into Riley's
think
head a
we
little bit,
would have
like,
gone
hey,
to
we're just
sudden
playing-
death
we're playing a team. We're not
if
taking out any
Paul had
personal
just
vendettas
taken
or
the
revenge, so maybe Mark
2-pointer
Riley feeds on that
and
kind of stuff,
Eric had
but
taken the
that
3-pointer.
is going to be remain to see who prevails in the tournament going forward. Right now, we have an interview with, it surprised Brianne and it surprised me a little bit as well. Jen, the loser, it's Loose Cannons.
Yeah, guys, I think we're all a little surprised right now. I'm sure.
You mean by the terrible questions, like the sunken place being a 3-point question? That's what I'm shocked about. But sorry, I interrupted you.
Catherine Keener? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the picture page edition of Schmoedown.
They got the name of a famous actress from a successful movie, and we had the Three Ninjas kids? I'm not 8 anymore.
You may not be 8 anymore. Paul might be, but
Oh,
we still
Jen,
have to
come
know
on.
These type of polls, you
He's
know,
the champ.
unfortunately, like,
Show a
that's
little
just kind of
class
how the cookie
there.
crumbles when it comes to questions. I'm sure you're used to this by now.
She has been
Professor.
known to
You're
not
still
like
marching
Paul.
Towards obviously your
but
bid for
come
manager
on,
of the
he's
year.
the champ.
How do you think this impacts that?
Respect the belt.
Marching towards. I think I've come like a comet at manager of the year. There's no question. This is
Still
a
my pick.
one-off. This is a disgrace.
Same here.
Well, I'm really sorry for your loss today, guys. Did you think that when they spun Festival Darlings that you guys had it locked?
No, I think it's naive to ever think you have the game in the bag. You know, we knew they had their questions, and we still had yet to spin, so we didn't know what was going to happen. And, you know, we just got to play our game. You know, things didn't work out, but, you know, the only difference between stumbling blocks and stepping stones is the way that you use them. And I think that what we're going to do here is platform ourselves into the next stratosphere and take next season by storm as a team.
You know what I think happened? I think Grace is like the Edward Snowden of this league. She must have hacked the questions or done something, okay? I know Ken doesn't know how to use a computer. He's still figuring out the speak and spell. But I'm sure that she went in there and did something. I call BS. Can I show up? Go ahead.
I'll take some of the blame for overthinking my two-pointer. I should have known Tom Hanks. He's the star of that movie. And I thought, oh, no, that's too easy. Had to have been one of the other guys. But that's what I get for thinking, I guess.
So while this ends your bid, obviously, in the teams tournament, Paul, we will be seeing you again at Spectacular. What do you have there?
I got art. It's back to school season. Some of my fans in New York City, Cara and Tara. What's her name?
Cara and Zoe.
Cara and Zoe.
Cool, guys.
My little dungeon heads. Thank you.
The Mariano children.
Well, I knew you didn't do it because the penmanship was too good. Anyways, I'm sorry about your loss today, guys. Paul will be seeing you again at Spectacular. All right, tough loss, Dungeon. Back to you guys.
All right, so Brienne, clearly guys are not happy about his team's loss, but I think that was pretty classily handled by both Paul and Eric. You know, there wasn't a lot of questioning who got asked what. There was just simply, hey, you know what, they need to regroup. They need to not ever think that the game is in the bag when it's premature to do so. And I do think that this is a loss that could potentially make both competitors individually, maybe as a team, better down the road.
Absolutely. And I do like that they are able to say, you know what, I missed this question and that was on me. I like it when people take ownership of their own mistakes rather than put it on something else, like some managers like to say.
Hey, well,
but, you know,
we're
this is how it goes.
about to hear from some more managers, the competitors, and, of course, Jen Sturger is now going to have an interview with the winning team, Crimson Fury. Jen, I'm sure it's all smiles over in your corner.
It really is, Mark, and we've got to figure out a way to fit more people backstage because it's getting a little insane back here with the size of these factions. Crimson Fury, Stacy, you continue to be a bracket buster. How are you guys feeling?
Right now, I am very thankful to have Stacy as my partner because she really carried us in the second half of that match. I mean, she came out of nowhere and really performed well, and I made a mistake and didn't go with her.
Some people wake up later in the match.
Question right, but you know, in the end, we came out on top, and you know that's how we thought it was always going to be.
And I mean, he carried us in the beginning. You know, he got us the points that we needed to at least catch up to them, and then I brought it home. So it's called teamwork, people. Maybe take a peek.
Were you a little nervous when they spun Festival Darlings, Ken?
The only Darling that should matter is Ron Darling, whose 15 wins and 2.81 ERA helped the 86 Mets win the World Series. But we got through it, and that's all that matters.
You always amaze me with your baseball facts. I feel like you missed your calling.
I probably did. Can I say something? The Dungeon, they train hard, they work hard. Kaiser, he gets to go report to his work release counselor every Friday that he did a good job.
It's okay, Chris. It's okay.
But, you know, in NFL, you play 60 minutes. You play to the final minute. Baseball, you play to the final pitch. In the Schmoedown, finish the sucker. The game's not over until the very end, and we proved that today.
Did Paul Oyama's little dig at you get you at all?
You know what? God bless him. He's making his dreams come true. The game's changed. New generation's here. The fans have moved in, and he's so great. You know why? Because I've got 17 jobs. He wakes up in the morning, his mom makes him breakfast, and he studies. Of course he's going to do good. I got to go live a life. So do they. But we won.
Up next, Stacey, it's a very familiar face for you.
He's technically not wrong.
You knocked him out of the singles tournament. Who's the boss? How are you feeling?
I feel strong. I feel good. We feel good. You know, this is the winning pair right here.
I think we're going to show them who the boss really is. I mean, Stacy kind of already showed him that, but I guess he needs to show him a second time.
Yeah.
We'll knock him out of this tournament too.
Ooh. All right. On that note, I'm going to send it back to the desk because it needs to cool off back here.
All right. I mean, Brian, I don't know what.
A lot of oxygen being shared, a lot of heat being generated.
Was able to finish that entire lollipop in this. Span of one
I'm
match.
so glad that you said that because I was going to say, how did he finish that so quickly? I mean, it's one of the twisty ones.
It's a lot of licks.
That's
He
hard.
bit it. That's how.
Pop, much less one that goes out. Anyway, it was a well
very
played
good
match
for the
by
teeth,
both teams,
obviously.
Really. They
Just like this Mountain Dew.
Really tough fight
Hashtag
corner,
not
but again,
sponsored.
That's the game, and so Crimson Fury will move on to play Who's the Boss. And I want to thank everybody out there watching our match.
The
today,
China Sticks
especially
Corporation, on the other
patrons,
hand, will be in touch.
Check out our Patreon today. Select which tier is right for you. Speaking of the Patreon, the person that helped us get
We
this
don't
whole
want
thing
the
rolling
China
is
Sticks
sitting to my
Corporation. They're
right.
evil. They
Miss-
ruin the
Miss-
streams every
Miss
time.
Movies herself,
That's
Brianne
right.
Chandler. Thank you so much
And
for
yet
joining
we're
us
their
today.
army.
I've kept the lights on for you. I've helped it.
The
You know,
lights
just a
work.
little push.
If we could make sure the AC stays on as well,
That would be really
That would
nice.
be great. For Miss Movies, I am Mark Baby Carrots Ellis. Make sure you guys continue to stay tuned to the team tournament. The Ultimate Schmoedown rolls on. It's going to be Crimson Fury versus Who's the Boss and some other juicy matchups as well. So we'll see you real soon around the movie. Trivia, a Schmoedown.
Schmoedown.
Okay, Chris, I'll give you credit because you were right, and it's sort of the same exact thing that actually felled Chance against Bibiani. It was a really good match, and then the 5-pointer just didn't work out in their favor when they needed it to the most.
Yeah, and look, like I said, several times throughout this match, I don't know why I put them in there, but I just had a gut feeling like this was gonna be the upset, and I was right because if Zipper hits the 2-pointer, they go to sudden death. And look, on any given day, anything can happen. Like, for example, Stacey could have had a performance where they completely and utterly crapped the bed. Or, Zipper and Paul could have just gone perfect for the entire match and it would have been over by TKO or knockout, possibly. But, look, I just had a feeling not to sleep on Crimson Fury this time. They won't get this lucky again because I do feel that as a team, Who's the Boss is 10 times the team that Crimson Fury is in terms of chemistry, in terms of strategy, gameplay, game experience. But I have to give props because in terms of regular movie trivia, who has the more experience? By the slightest of margins and by being around the game since 2016, I had to give it to Crimson Fury. So, yeah.
And good on you for making a good pick. I think we're both on the same page, though, that it's going to be Who's the Boss's match to win
lose,
in the next round of the tournament. And not just because of all the facts you just laid out about the run Who's the Boss has been on in these teams' tournaments and their chemistry together, their study habits and whatnot. But again, going back to what I said at the beginning of this video about the pattern of Stacey Howard and how she has a big win and then a big loss and then a big win and then a big loss. This was the next big win. So just going off of that pattern of consistency based on inconsistency of her gameplay, the next one's going to be a loss. And it's on her to prove me wrong on that, but that's just how history has so far played out.
Yes, but there is a slight asterisk to that. Very slight. That's in her singles performances. Because Crimson Fury, remember, this is only their second match. So I don't know. Maybe Tim is that lucky charm that will finally see them through. But of course, I doubt it. This time.
And you know what? That's fair. That's fair. As for loose cannons, here's the interesting thing. As long as Paul still holds that strap, he's safe in terms of the draft.
Yeah.
Kevin Smets, if he beats Kalinowski at the Spectacular, he's safe as well for the dungeon. Zipper is now in an awkward spot where, based on the fact that so far loose cannons are only 1-1, will they get any chances next season to actually build off on their dynamic as a team? Or will someone come in and split them up? Will Winston Marshall, who's now a manager, will he pick Eric Zipper back up just to mess with him? No, that would actually be bad strategy on Winston's part. But basically, now that we understand, with everything more we're learning about the draft, no one is safe unless they're in that top 5. And Loose Cannons needed this win to keep themselves in the top 5. And sadly, that's not the case anymore. So is Loose Cannons safe anymore? That's the question.
I don't think they are, honestly. And I hate to say it, but I think come draft day, when that happens, I think this will be the end of Zipper's run in the dungeon as a active member. Sure, he'll always be in spirit with them, I'm sure, but unless he's picked up by a solid team that he really wants to be part of. But yeah, I think this is it.
I guess we'll see. I guess we'll find out in a couple months, and we'll find out as this tournament goes on who will also be on the chopping block in terms of their team's dynamic, and who will be safe, who will be in the top 5 by the end of this season, and who will be in the top 5 come the draft, who won't be, whose teams will be demolished completely. We'll find out very soon. But until then, guys, this has been another Schmoedown reaction here on Dedicated to Art. So, like always, click the subscribe button, click the reminder bell for notifications on future Dedicated to Art videos. Hit that like button as well. Comment with the weird faces we tell you to make all the time, and share these videos with all your friends. Let us know that we as a channel are growing. And speaking of growth, Chris, if I may, tonight on the Who Cares Anyway podcast, Chris, we'll get into the plugs for the rest of our stuff later, but tonight on the Who Cares Anyway podcast, we will be making a big announcement about programming for this channel here in 2020. So stay tuned for that, or go back and watch that video depending on when this reaction gets uploaded. But yeah, Chris Doman, where can the good people of the internet find you?
You guys can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Stardust, Letterboxd, and Discord at Skywalker Dome. And you guys can follow this fair channel on Twitter and Instagram at D2A channel. Please like our Facebook page, join our Facebook group. Get caught up with Viva la Resistance, our Star Wars Resistance recap show. Manners Maketh Mandalorian, our recap show for The Mandalorian. The latest episode dropped today. New episode drops tomorrow. Cannot wait to talk about that episode with you guys. Yeah, Who Cares Anyway podcast, hosted by me, where tonight, yes, we have a lot of big announcements coming. And next week, we actually have The Littlest of Evils, former team champion, another movie trivia Schmoedown, JTE, on the show. So that's going to be a very fun time. Can't wait for that. And that should do it for now. So make sure you check out the backlog of Who Cares Anyway.
And you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, at Nico Suave Regoli, or just Nico Suave with 4 random meaningless numbers at the end on Discord, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn. Coming soon. Again, getting that diploma first. Combat Wrestling Trivia on Facebook, Combat Wrestling Network on YouTube. The poorly made Twitter handle is at Combat Wrestling, the number 2. There's no letter G. Sometimes on TMG Entertainment, where I am the Chokeslam Wrestling Debate Champion of the world. And, of course, right here on Dedicated to Art and all the places Chris just said. Hashtag Trivia for Thon 2, and a separate announcement about what the schedule will be for that coming as well. Again, graduation is a pain in the ass. 5 more weeks of school left to go. Let's hope I get through it all. Yeah, and also, screw you, Cleveland Browns. But until next time, guys, you know what to do. Take care.
Yeah!